Today, we're going to talk about the KTS100, one of the few weapons in the game that has little to no recoil or bullet spread. The problem is that it's just a one-trick pony in most players' eyes. Because of the slow fire rate, most people just try to lock down one position for the entire match. But what if I told you that the KTS can be one of the fastest handling LMGs in the game without sacrificing that recoil or bullet spread? In this video, I'm going to be breaking down 3 different builds that'll change how you play, so I'll quit wasting time and get straight into the video. To start things off, we're going to take a look at this short range build for the KTS. In my opinion, this is a lot of fun to use, but the low fire rate can be a bit rough in close range situations. But for the attachments, I decided to use the standard suppressor to fully hide in-world spotting and to reduce the range where a soldier is spotted on the minimap while firing down to about 15 meters. But this does come at the cost of hipfire accuracy, so if you wanted, you could change the attachments around for the CQB suppressor or the standard or light suppressors. For the barrel, I decided to use the short barrel to improve hipfire accuracy and ADS speed. Unfortunately, this does come at the cost of bullet velocity. As you can see, it goes down to about 672 meters per second, but in my opinion, that's still more than enough for close range situations and even some medium range situations. I'm also using the 50 milliwatt green laser to further improve hipfire accuracy, just so you can get easy kills if you're getting up close and personal with enemy players. I've also decided to use the slim hand stop for this build to increase your weapon draw speed and your ADS speed, and to get the ADS speed down to 200 milliseconds, I put on the 45 round magazine. If you didn't know, the lower round magazines actually improve your ADS time on LMGs. If I choose the 60 round mag, you can see over here that it increases your ADS time to 250 milliseconds, but either of the 45 round mags will bring your ADS time down by about 50 milliseconds. Along with the magazine, I'm using the lightweight ammo just so you have better ADS movement speed, and I'm using the rail cover to further improve weapon draw speed. And besides that, I'm using the 1x mini flex, but you could also use the ROM 1.75 time scope or the CCO 2 time scope if you wanted to reach out into farther range distances. In the firing range, you'll see there's one constant between all these builds, and that would be the lack of bullet spread and recoil on the KTS. As you can see, the ADS time is super fast, super snappy. I can't really show the weapon draw speed, but I can tell you that it is really fast in-game. And with this gun, you'll be getting about a 4-shot kill up until about 10 meters, and anything past that up until about 70 or 80 meters, it's going to be a 5-shot kill. But one thing that helps a lot with the 5-shot kill is the lack of recoil or spread, like I mentioned earlier. The great thing about this build is that you can still get really easy kills at longer ranges, up until about 70 meters, but you do have to be careful. I would obviously recommend bursting, as I would with any other gun, but you don't need to burst as much as you would with other guns. Next, we have a long-range build for the KTS. I'm sure you've seen pretty similar builds to this before, but we're still gonna go over it nonetheless. I decided to use the long suppressor to hide in-world spotting and player pings on the minimap, but this suppressor also reduces recoil buildup and improves recoil recovery, at the cost of hipfire accuracy and weapon sway. And again, if you didn't want the weapon sway or the hipfire accuracy cost, you could switch to the CQB suppressor, but I would recommend switching to the lightened suppressor instead, since it doesn't have that weapon sway penalty, and it still improves the recoil buildup and recoil recovery. And for the barrel, I decided to use the heavy extended barrel to improve firing accuracy over extended periods of time, and increase bullet velocity at the cost of draw speed. I've also decided to use the red laser for this build just to slightly improve hipfire accuracy in case anyone else wants to get up close and personal when you're using this build. With this laser, you should be able to get some pretty easy hipfire kills up close. Besides that, I'm using the slim angled grip to slightly reduce recoil and increase weapon draw speed and ADS speed. And I'm using the 60 round fast mag with standard ammunition. Besides that, I'm using the rail cover to offset that weapon draw speed penalty from the barrel. And I'm using the 3x Baker sight. But you could use the LDS 4.5 times scope, the BFM 2.5 times scope, the SU 231 to 4 times variable scope, and the ST Prism 5 times scope. But honestly, with the KTS, you could use any sight and you won't have much of an issue. For this build, you'll see that it's still very easy to control and that there's very little bullet spread. The reason I chose the slim angled grip is to minimize the little recoil that the KTS has, since it can be pretty noticeable with higher zoom scopes, and it can throw off players if you're shooting beyond 80 meters. And finally, we got the hybrid build that's a good mix between the short and long range builds. For this build, I'm still using the long suppressor and heavy extended barrel for those benefits to recoil buildup and recovery, as well as improved firing accuracy over extended periods. I'm also using the slim hand stop for improved weapon draw speed and ADS speed, the 60 round fast mag just so you have enough ammunition to make sure you get those kills at farther ranges, and I'm using the lightweight ammo to improve ADS movement speed. I'm also using the 50 milliwatt blue laser just to tighten that ADS spread a little bit more and to improve hipfire accuracy. And for the sight, I decided to use the CCO 2 times scope just because it has enough zoom to get easy kills at farther ranges, but it's not so zoomed in that you won't be able to get kills at close range. But you could obviously use sights like the 1x Mini Flex, the ROM 1.75x scope, or the BFM 2.5x scope. For this build, it's going to feel more or less the same to the two builds before. You're still going to have little to no recoil, and it's going to be very accurate at farther ranges. But it still does have pretty decent ADS speed and weapon draw speed, so you can keep up in any close quarter situations. The KTS is one of the best LMGs for a reason. It's one of the most versatile weapons in the game, but only if you build it right. But I want to hear from you. Drop a comment down below and let me know which build you're excited to try first. If this guide helped you, then drop a like and consider subscribing to keep up with the best tips, tricks, and breakdowns in Battlefield 6. And if you want to see these builds being put to the test, or if you have builds of your own you think I should try, then drop by one of my live streams. I'm always live at 8 PM EST from Thursday through Monday, and I'd love to have you there. But with that out of the way, I'll see you in the next video.